Next up is a DJ with the most ridiculous energy. She's so passionate about the club. Her sound is all about breakneck speed, fast, up-tempo, in-your-face, rave-ready club music. She's got an energy like no other, and I'm so gassed that I finally get to see her play. Please make the most noise for the first time right here in the boiler room, the one and only Mixtress!
Bit of a Percy, but I have Aphrodite remix of Original Nutter. Here's Original Nutter by Aphrodite remix. Stay locked.
None of mercy. Hey-yo, it's all about the rock out and jump off and jump in. Yo. Hey-yo, none of mercy. Come in and stop rinsing. Run the track, the rude boy, coming up on the kiosk. None of mercy. Hey-yo, all the drum and bass heads. Every time the rude boy, watch this, yo. Watch this.
It's just gonna be like Be Real with me chatting shit, like. But yeah, basically, like, I sort of learned a little bit, like, when I was 17, like, the general basics, but I was still like, oh, what the fuck's going on here? But I've been a music person for a long time. Like, I still have my iPod Classic from when I was in year 4, and said iPod Classic was a hand-me-down from my sister, who's 10 years older than me. So I was like unknowingly listening to like Aphex Twin when I was in year 4, and I just thought that was normal music, and like other weird shit like old school tech stuff and like jungle and like weird stuff for a 10-year-old to be listening to. But I was like, oh, this is great. And I always thought like pop music was quite weird because it was unfamiliar for me. Yeah, I was like in the generation of DJs that had to do like the unpaid bar gigs and like paid in drink tokens and like, get yelled at by some clapamite or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I played loads of terrible bar gigs and stuff like that, and like, it took years to like really figure out what I wanted to play, because you can't, when you're doing that as well, like, you're not allowed to play the music you actually want to play. Like, people would always tell me like jungle's too like, it's too brash, it's too aggressive, it's too heavy, like no one wants to listen to this, like, for years. And it's quite funny that like this has all happened since lockdown for me, because I spent years like being told like this music is like unlistenable when I wanted to play it. I've always quite liked 90s music. I grew up on, like I told you about the iPod Classic, but like I grew up on this like Bristol trip hop and like Massive Attack and Prodigy. Like, I grew up listening to Prodigy, and I was like, this was like, I was very fortunate that I got to see Prodigy, before Keith Flint like passed away years ago. It was a lineup, and it was like, what was it? Underworld and Prodigy on the same night. Yeah, which I love, like just wanging it in everyone's face. I'm like, haha. Like, by the way, I think Kraftwerk was on the same night as well. Yeah, it was crazy. I cried multiple times, but basically, like, I think because I listened to all this 90s music, and I was so used to this kind of like sound, even though it's like way more like down tempo, a lot of those elements are like very similar, like the chords and the like weird minor chords and like kind of those rave stabs and stuff. They're like repurposed in trip hop quite a lot. And growing up, like, because I listened to that music, I think that it kind of translated in this like weird, familiar way for me, because I just quite like things that were made in the 90s. That's kind of where I discovered breakbeat hardcore, but then going into uni and then like kind of properly becoming like a music head, like there weren't really any like nights that had this kind of music. I used to go to lots of squat raves, and I used to be part of a team that used to run a squat rave. At those kind of parties is where I was like, oh, actually, like, we could book certain DJs that started playing more of that breakbeat kind of sound. I was like, I really like this. And like, where I'd go to like raves where, you hear things like jungle, like, you'd see people like Fazia, OK Williams, Sherelle used to play at squat raves like a lot when I was at uni. And like, I was the only time where we'd actually see this kind of music like properly pop off. And then like now, it's only very recently over lockdown that people kind of wanted faster music. And the reason they wanted faster music is because everyone was at home for like 2 years. And then suddenly they all had all this like pent up energy, I think. And they wanted to hear like the craziest shit they possibly could hear. Yeah, it's been exciting. I went to a big boy. Actually, can I say it? I can probably say it. It's fine because we haven't signed anything yet, so it's alright. But I went to Warner yesterday, like to their offices, which was crazy because I was in this meeting room and there was just like a giant photo of Cardi B in the background. I was like, shit, this is like real. Like this is like a real label with like real artists and stuff. The main thing is that like Mike Skinner has cleared the sample. So we're gonna like mainly release through Locked On, like his like the original Pirate Material label. So that's really exciting. Yeah. And we're finally getting to the point where we're 93% happy with the master. So we're on version 7. I haven't even heard it yet, but
yeah.
I've got the album on vinyl and I've had it for years, and sometimes I just like take it to DJ sets and I'll just play it. And I kept having this weird recurring dream, and this has been for a while, like maybe a year or so, where like I was at some like rave at Fabric and I heard the tune, but it was like sped up. It was like a jungly tune, and I was like, it's like starting to like freak me out that it keeps happening. So then like I spoke to Pete, and Pete's like fortunately a friend and also has the most fucking sick setup of all time. This was like a week before the boiler room actually, and this was like completely unplanned, right? Like I fully was like, look, let's just make like a thing in a day, and then like, you know, if something comes out of it, cool, if not, whatever. But we were like, let's bootleg this. So we bootlegged it. But yeah, now it's almost ready to be sent out. We have like a version that's like for DJs that is probably never gonna go out, because I quite like the fact that it's just a mystery tune that like no one has. Mm-hmm. And still like none of my friends have it. The only person who is in possession of the tune that didn't make it is Marianne Hobbs, who's playing it tomorrow. And she was like, can I have the tune? And I was like, yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's exciting because it's a bit of a happy accident, I guess.